G'day, hello, and all those words that greet. Here I have decided to do a secret black edition of the Secrets to Alchemy. Okay, so in the book I was reading, it was saying something about a picture of a man with a grim reaper on his head who has an hourglass in his hand, and he has a sickle, a scythe, and up in the air there is a griffin and a lizard up high. Okay, so down below there's a spring at the bottom of the tree, and the tree is hollow, has a hole in it with a circular knot in it. So what does all of this mean? Okay, let me explain. Okay, well, if we think of the center of the tree as a vortex, this is where all things crush in together to make a more condensed, concentrated thing. And down low is a fresh water spring, because when things are crushed, all the pure forms come out. The gravity crushes things and compacts them, and they become bigger chunks. And so that's why it's easier to find nuggets, because gold has been put through heating and crushing processes. Now, some people can say that the world used to be run by kingdoms that had an ark, the Ark of the Covenant in each of their pyramids, and it had Tesla power, which is just power jumping from the positive to the negative. And if you had two car batteries and you had a couple of things sticking up, one on a positive, one on a negative, it would cause a bolt to jump across from one to the other. And as it travels through the air, it picks up free energy. That's the Tesla secret. And when it comes to alchemy, there's two sides to the cross. There's the left side, and that's metals and acids, and the right side of the cross is the alkali. Now, the alkali, you can use electricity in salt water to push alkali up into the high pHs. pH is parts per hydrogen molecule. Now, if you go below, you go into acidic, and acidic becomes metals. A lot of things underground are metal. That's because it got greatly acidic. Okay, so I noticed that if you have a negative wire and a positive wire on something that doesn't erode, like, say, a graphite pencil lead, they call it lead, but it's not lead. So anyway, I tie some copper wire from a positive of a phone power charger cord, and it has a transformer on, obviously. But you bring the two wires into the liquid solution, and you tie off a graphite pencil lead on the end of each. But you do not put the copper wire in the solution, you just put the pencil lead only. You can have long ones, you can get huger ones, fat as your thumb and twice as long, maybe 4 times as long, in car batteries, and get smaller batteries like pen torch batteries, or you can get torch batteries, which are like the size of a motorcycle battery, big as your fist, and 4 times longer. But anyway, so with alkali, it becomes crystallized, crushes into purer crystals. You get up to 14 pH, that's sodium hydroxide, and you get higher, well, it's just going to become more and more alkali. See, when you have a vial or a glass, and you put your 2 electrodes in and your salt water in there, and you make it very dense in salt, so it thickens heaps of salt, just keep adding salt until you can't add any more. You're going to find that electrolyzing that water, the negative becomes the emitter, and it creates hydrogen emission. But the positive crushes, so it creates damage to the strengthening. It causes strengthening and hardening, and it hardens and becomes very, crushed, and that causes what you'd think would happen with crystals. It actually is happening to metals, because I've had metal electrodes in salt water, and they have crushed and rusted and corroded, and so now I find that that which is earthed rusts, but that which is non-earthed, well, the positive wire rusts. So the earthed, the negative rusts, and unearthed, the positive rusts. So why did Jesus grab Satan and lock him underground and chain him into the ground? Now, if he's so pure negative, wouldn't it mean that he has to make hydrogen all day if he's unearthed? But if he's earthed, then he corrodes. He's pure corrosion. And God is flying in the paintings. So if he's unearthed and he's flying means unearthed, and he's good. Well, wouldn't he be, if he's unearthed, wouldn't he be doing the insulated version and becoming the positive which crushes and corrodes? So how is it that God can fly and not corrode? The ungrounded corrodes. The positive corrodes when ungrounded. Well, what's the answer to that? Well, he's an infinite being. Some have said that he was the one who got a hold of the fruit of ambrosia from Mount Olympus, and he managed to traverse through time and space to the beginning and the end, and through, loop behind and around the other side, both ways, both figure 8 directions and opposite polarity as well. So to take all time and be able to control the ends of the rope and loop them onto themselves. So what has this got to do with alchemy? Okay, alchemizing. The lizard means deep under the ground there is pure resources, and you can make Ormus. What is Ormus? Orbitally arranged molecules. If you burn some gold, out comes white powder, and that is monoatomic, and that is superconductive, and that is very powerful. Now, if you have it from gold, it is plainly more advanced than gold. If you can make a crystal out of it and store the energy signature of gold in it, you can make the philosopher's stone. There are these divining rods, and they put an electrical signal inside of brass or copper rods, and you're unearthed, and you today find gold. So it's the same thing, but you're doing it with crystal form. Alright, so use higher forms and matching frequencies, electric signatures, and resonance and light. All of the right matching for alchemy. Alchemy is using energy to produce gold. Okay? Great power to do this. Good luck.